Okay, we're almost at 9 o'clock, but we have about a minute, so I'm just going to let the time run out here. And we'll get started in just a second. Remember, if you want to have some music, you can start that now. Okay, we're at 9 o'clock. Welcome to the Cowichan Brain Injury Society's 10, 10, and 10 morning wake-up program. Cowichan Brain Injury Society is a nonprofit that works out of the Cowichan Valley, serving folks who have had brain injuries as well as their loved ones and folks who are caring for them. The 10, 10, and 10 morning wake-up program uses this theory of the 6 pillars of brain health to help us start our morning by getting 10 minutes of movement, 10 minutes of learning something new, and 10 minutes of mindfulness, which is linked to stress management. So that's what you're here ready to do with us. I am Billy, the registered kinesiologist at Cowichan Brain Injury Society. If you know me, I did just come back from Belize last night at like 2 a.m. So if I'm a little bit more disheveled than I am usually, please forgive me. All right, so I have some music in my ear here that kind of helps motivate me move. Please do the same if that feels good for you. Have some water close by. And make sure the area you're working in is clear of any obstacles. You can have a chair close by to help you balance if you're standing and doing your exercise, but you can do all of the exercises while sitting as well. Remember to listen to your body, take note of how you're feeling, take breaks if you need to, but do try to challenge yourself a little bit. We're really trying to get our heart rate up just a bit to start our day. I want you at the edge of your chair, ideally at an upright kind of chair, so that you can engage your core, sit up nice and straight. This helps activate some muscles and helps with our posture control. Okay, we'll get started here. I might already take a little sip of water because I'm a bit groggy today. Press play on any music you have, and we're going to do about 30 seconds to a minute of each movement. All right. Okay, let's start with bringing our arms up overhead, swinging them back behind us, up if you want to stand. That's what this looks like. And remember, you can always go at a pace that feels good for you. If you're standing, actually, even if you're sitting, you can do a little bend forward when you swing your arms behind you. Okay, we're going to do this for about 10 more seconds. Just stand again. Awesome. Oh. Okay. I'm always going to demonstrate sitting and then standing. Okay, we're going to do kind of a cross-body reach. We're doing a little twist here. Crossing over to reaching to our right and then to our left. And if this is standing, you can do a little weight transfer. A bit more active here. Good job. Keep it up. Great. If we're sitting, we're going to have our arms out on a T here. We're going to do some big arm circles. Nice. And let's just go the other way. You can do this standing. Big circles. Awesome. Getting those shoulders all warmed up. Okay, now we're going to cross our arms in front and then bring our elbows behind, kind of squeezing our shoulder blades together. Crossing, squeeze. Cross, squeeze. Good job. Nice work here. 10 more seconds. If you're standing, it'll look just the same right now. We're not doing really any lower body exercise here. Good. Awesome work. A couple more seconds here. Great. We're going to get some lower body action happening now. Okay. Have your hands on your hip if you want, and we're going to extend our leg forward, tapping our heel on the ground so our toes are up. And if you're standing, you can be using a chair here, doing a little bend in your knee as you tap forward. Again, going at a pace that feels good for you. This can be quite quick. This will help your heart rate, or you can keep it nice and slow. Since I'm a little groggy, I might be going a bit slower than usual. Do about 5 more seconds. My body wants to be in bed, so. All right. Okay, we're going to do a side step next. If you're sitting, this is what this looks like. Going through basically our very basic movements today. For standing, right leg, left leg. This challenges our balance, strengthens the leg we're balancing on, as well as getting this plane of movement on our frontal plane, it's called. Good work. Let's keep it up. We're going to do some backwards kickbacks, which if you're sitting, and we really want to be in the edge of our chair here, and you're trying to bring your foot back as far as you can. You might not be able to go as far as me, but just kind of activating our hamstrings, so the back of our thighs, and a little bit of action here. If you're standing, you're stepping back, you can have a little bend in your knee, but extending kind of backwards. Sorry, I didn't move forward, so I wasn't. So what this looks like side. This will get our glutes going as well. Good. Just for a few more seconds. Good job. Okay. I'm going to put our hands on our knees, and we're just kind of doing a side to side. This gets some rotation in our hips as well as down at your ankles. You'll feel it too. It's okay if they go side to side. It's fine. And if you're standing, you can have a little bend, and then we're just putting our knees from side to side. If you need a chair, have it close by. Kind of a funny move. Good work. A couple more seconds here. Good. We're going to do some movements where we're adding our arms as well as our legs. So we'll go back to some of the movements we did before. So we were doing that extension, but then we're going to do our lifting our arms as our foot is extended in front of us. Good work. So when you're standing, really challenging our balance. Again, you can just do this one-handed. So we're doing some cross hemisphere work, doing 2 different actions, making our brain work a little bit harder than it was before. Nice work. Good. Okay, we're going to do some mini squats here. Now, if you're in a seated position, I want you to really think about pushing the ground away. You can try to lift your bottom, but even just getting our legs activated by pushing into the ground, really being at the edge of the chair, leaning forward a bit, pushing into your feet, really thinking about pushing into the feet. If you're standing, you can do squat here. It doesn't have to be very deep. Just be a little squat here. Why don't we try to bring our arms out too? Make it more challenging. Just up to the side here. Good. This feels hard right now. Good work. Couple more seconds. Good. Awesome. Okay, we're going to do some calf raises and some dorsiflexion, so our toes up too. So if you're in a seated position, you're pushing your toes into the ground, lifting our heels. So you should get some calf engagement here. Bring down and then lift your toes. Heels, toes, heels, toes. Awesome. And again, standing. This can be quite challenging for your balance. You can just work on the heel raises right now with a small lift, but I don't want you tipping backwards. So we're not tipping too far backwards, but working on those heel lifts. Great exercise. I'm going to do this for another 10 seconds. Great work, everyone. Almost there. Awesome. Cool. We're going to continue to work on our ankles. We're going to just do some ankle circles. With the other opposite hand, let's try to do some wrist circles. Even try to go the other way and make your brain really work. Can't do that this morning. Go the other way. Awesome. And then the other side. Round and round. Good. Just waking up all of our joints. And going the opposite way. Whoop. My body does not want to go that way today. A couple more seconds here. Good. We're going to end with some marching. Okay. So we're lifting our knee up towards our chest, keeping that nice strong posture as close to your chest as possible. We'll stay nice and strong. Abdominals are engaged. Great. We're standing, using a chair for balance. Again, lifting that knee nice and high. You can add in some arms, reaching up with the opposite arm. Getting a bit of that cross hemisphere work in our brain. Two different sides of our body. Good. We're just going to keep this up at a nice pace. Hopefully getting our heart rate up just a little bit this morning. About 10 more seconds here. Good work. All right. I'm going to pause my music. We are done our movement for today. Move this out of the way. I'm going to move my chair up. I was like, it's a bit more personal from a little closer. Take a sip of water. And my kid's water bottle, it leaks everywhere. It's ridiculous. All right. Okay, so the month of March, we've been talking about nutrition. We've talked about macronutrients, micronutrients, but we didn't actually talk about just calories. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And that'll end our discussion on nutrition. But at the end of this, I do want you to take a look at how you're consuming food. I think a lot of us don't need to change anything, but if there's something that you think might benefit you, you could modify something just a bit. We're starting a new month tomorrow. Be a good time to think about a nutrition-related goal. Could be anything from trying to increase your intake of water to eating some more fruits and vegetables, or maybe decreasing some of your processed foods. Don't beat yourself up about it. That makes things harder. And we'll talk a little bit about like counting calories and stuff and how that can actually cause stress in our lives. That we're trying to manage our stress. So finding what's right for you is really important, but also being mindful of what foods do what for you. So calories. Calories are units of measurement that we talk about both expending and receiving. So all foods have calories. So it's giving us units of measurements that then can be used for energy, or units of energy that can then be used throughout our day to help us function. So any type of movement we're doing will expend these calories. So we get calories, these units of energy from food, and we expend them through movement, as well as just metabolic processes that are happening in our bodies. Um, Anything we eat, drink has some calories in it. And if people are like trying to diet, they often think about how much is coming in versus how much is going out. But I want to try to not worry too much about that, but being mindful of it. Now, what I really would like folks to be mindful is more this idea of empty calories. And now those are foods that aren't giving us much nutrients. So they will still provide some of those macronutrients, specifically like sugars, carbohydrates, right? But they're not giving us anything more. So think of those micronutrients, all those minerals and vitamins we want to be getting from different foods. Empty calories usually don't have any of that. Now, those are usually your processed foods, fast foods. Think like chips, candy, donuts, those delicious things. I am a sugar, I won't say addict or anything like that, but I do love my sugar. So those are empty calories. When I eat a bunch of candy, I'm not getting any nutrients from them. I do say, eat the rainbow, and if I'm eating Skittles, aren't I eating the rainbow? No. Anyways, so that's giving some calories, some energy, but it's not giving me anything more of what my body needs. Also, things with a lot of added salt or trans fats and saturated fats, those are usually kind of more empty calories, not giving us those micronutrients. And those have been linked. There's been quite a bit of research and has been linked to chronic health conditions such as high blood pressure, risk of strokes, heart attacks, high cholesterol, diabetes, these kinds of things that we would like to prevent if possible. So decreasing some of those empty calories that we may be consuming can be a really positive goal, a good thing for our overall health. So, before bed, maybe I always have a little snack, and I know there's a lot of information out there that you shouldn't eat before bed, but my body needs a little something before bed. I get sick in the morning if I don't. Anyways, I digress. Instead of eating a bunch of candy before bed, maybe eating, if I'm craving sugar, which again is not ideal before bed, but even just eating a banana instead of, some Sour Patch Kids might be a better option for me. Again, that would be a really good goal. I'm not changing things completely. I'm still getting that sugar craving that my body is having, like that sugar hit, but it is less empty calories. I'm getting something more from that banana. Anyways, so again, that's something you can just be mindful about. What kind of calories am I getting? Is it offering me a lot of different things? Am I getting vitamins and minerals, or am I just getting a big sugar spike or salts or fats, which are those macronutrients? But we need those micronutrients as well. So how many calories should you eat? And again, like I said, I'm not really interested in people counting calories, but it can be interesting information to see how much calories are in one meal versus another meal. And it can be interesting sometimes to be like, oh, I went for that walk and that burned this many calories. Don't worry too much about it, but can be kind of interesting. Now they say, so scientists, health professionals out there say an average active male should have around 3,000 calories a day. A male body. Average active female body should be getting around 2,500 calories a day. So again, being mindful, having a bit of an idea sometimes to be like, this bag of chips that I ate is a lot more calories than that salad. How fascinating. And, maybe I'm not getting quite as much exercise as I'd like. So maybe I should choose a salad instead of chips. Not quite as satisfying, but again, just being mindful of kind of what different foods have in it can help us bring some awareness to our food and our consumption. Now, this can be a big challenge. We get into patterns of how we eat food. So finding a small change, if that feels right for you, is a good start. So say you do eat fast food quite a bit, maybe you live on your own, and that's a lot easier. So like, frozen dinners or going to restaurants, etc. Maybe trying to, say you do that 4 times a week, maybe just trying to change that to 3 times a week. That's a really small, measurable goal you could probably hit. You can track that easily and see if you've hit it, even just for the month, right? And then once you've done it, you can pat yourself on the back, maybe buy yourself a new fancy water bottle or something that feels good for you. Yeah, so a lot of diets can count calories or might be keto, so high protein and low carbs, these kind of things. And, diets can help people, help them feel better in their bodies, etc. But if you can't maintain it, it won't be helpful. So that's just something to know. So if you're trying out a diet and you won't be able to maintain that for multiple years, etc., they kind of call that yo-yo dieting. So if you try a diet, you do it for 3 months, and then you go to eating how you used to eat, and then you try another diet. Our body actually gets really confused about what we're doing there, and it will store fats because it's worried that you're going to go through a diet, which could be lowering your calories, etc. And it's concerned that, I'm going to need that energy for later. So it might actually store our body or store our excess energy and stuff as fat and build fat so that you can use that when you're on some kind of diet. So a lot of times dieting can actually lead to weight gain if you can't stick to a certain diet. And there is so many different types out there. We need calories. We need lots of different macronutrients, micronutrients. So variety and cooking your own food is kind of the best thing you can do. And now there's challenges that come that are uniquely affect folks with brain injury. So we might crave certain foods a bit differently than we used to. We might not remember to eat or to stop eating. Those are all based on neurotransmitters and things happening in our brain here that can be a bit dysregulated. So we might not have that, you're full, we can stop eating now, or you're hungry, it's time to go eat. Because another thing, we didn't really talk about that, is if you don't get enough calories, that can lead to being underweight. And that also has a lot of different health conditions associated with it. So you might need to set a timer or something, a certain time during the day to be like, time to eat lunch, right? Or time to eat breakfast. So finding a routine around food, just like you want to do around sleep or exercise, can be really essential. I found having a kid very helpful for me. I need to feed the kid, I might as well feed myself. Not saying I want to go and have kids, but it's been helpful for me. And another thing that can affect brain injury is preparing food. Preparing food is a big job and can feel a lot more overwhelming because there's multiple steps associated with it that can be challenging. Some people find making one big meal and then freezing it a lot more effective. And then they maybe only have to cook once or twice a week, but they have dinners for most of the week. So if you have questions or want to talk about setting goals around that, come let someone at Cowichan Brain Injury know, me or Peter, and we'd be happy to help you set some goals around that. Okay, I have talked a lot. I hope you've got something out of that. We are going to move on to some mindfulness. I didn't plan a specific mindfulness, but I was just on the beach. So we're going to get ourselves in a comfortable position and dream about the beach or be mindful while creating a beach-like scenario in our heads. So get yourself comfortable, have a sip of water if you need to. And to start, you can put your one hand on your upper kind of chest area and the other hand just above your belly button. And you're just going to start noticing your breath. There's going to be no judgment here. You're just going to notice the rise and fall of your lungs. Are you feeling it more in your upper chest, or are you breathing all the way down to your belly? No judgment here. You don't need to change your breathing at this point. Just noticing your breath. Becoming in tune with your body, the rhythms of your body. Yeah, noticing if you have deep or shallow breath, slow or quickened breath. No needing to change or fix it at this point. grounding yourself in your body, noticing the rest of your body as well. Do you notice your heart beating? Do you have any pain or discomfort anywhere? Any tingling or weakness sensations? Is there any tension? And again, not putting any value on any of those different sensations, just noticing. Now, if you're able, I do want you to try to slow your breath, your inhale, filling your lungs completely all the way down to that lower hand, and exhaling, slowing your exhale as well. Inhaling, exhaling. Let's try to inhale for 4 counts and exhaling for 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep that breathing just kind of slow. You don't need to count, but trying to just slow that breath a bit. If you're already breathing at that rate, you could have extended those numbers just by a second. And if you're comfortable, you can just soften your gaze or even close your eyes. And I want you to imagine that you're on a beach. Now, this can be a beach that you've been to before. It could be a sandy, tropical beach, or it could be a rocky beach on the West Coast. Maybe there's cliffs behind you. Maybe there's palm trees behind you. I want you to develop the scene. Notice the waves coming in and out, rising and falling like your breath. I want you to envision the trees that are along the beach or behind you, what type of beach it is. So you're looking around, noticing, maybe there's kids playing on the beach, maybe you're the only one there. What's the weather like? Is it an overcast, kind of misty day on a moody West Coast beach, or is the sun shining bright, making you feel like a lizard in the sun, basking in the heat? Notice that sensation. Is it heat that you're feeling on your skin? Is there a mist or refreshing air passing? What are you feeling on your skin here? Is there a breeze in the air? And if so, is it a really cold, brisk breeze making you want to cozy up a bit more? Or is it a hot, humid air? I want you to try to think of the sensations of yourself standing on the beach. If you're on a rocky beach, you might notice kind of a unsteadiness or different sensations on the balls of your feet. You can imagine you're barefooted or in shoes, but just trying to give you an idea of like the different sensation you might feel on your feet. Maybe you're barefoot in the hot sand and you can feel the sand all amongst your toes. Maybe you're on a wet beach where the sand feels cold or hard beneath your feet. Or you're letting the waves come onto your toes, feeling the water. Is it a warm water or cold water? Noticing that sensation. I want you to try to see if you can smell anything. The really potent seaweed, salt water that you smell in the air. Maybe you smell fresh fruit behind you, mangoes being cut up and pineapple. Maybe someone's barbecuing close by. Try to imagine some kind of smell. It could just be that fresh, salty air that you get here on the West Coast. Great. What sounds? Are you hearing the crashing waves? Are you hearing the trees rustling in the breeze? Maybe you hear kids playing off in the distance. Whatever fills you with joy, with peace, with comfort. Create that whole world in your mind here, connecting with all of your senses. Ideally feeling a sense of calm and comfort. You can feel a bit rejuvenated as well, We're looking for positive sensations emotionally, mentally from this scene. Come back to your body and your breath. Feeling how your body feels now. Taking yourself a bit away from this beach scene. Noticing your feet on the ground. The rise and fall of your lungs. Letting the scene of the beach drift away and melt away slowly here. Noticing the sensations you're having now, present. You might have smells in whatever room you're in, sounds in the distance. You can slowly open your eyes, being the last sense we're tapping into, seeing what we see in our current space. Awesome. Bring your hands down. Come back to the now. Be present in today. Great. So that's our session today. I think next month we'll be talking about sleep. We've talked about stress management and mindfulness. We've talked about movement, and we've talked about nutrition, which are all pillars of the 6 pillars of brain health. Sleep is another one, so we'll be covering that next month, which starts tomorrow. I hope you have a fabulous day and that you keep that brain healthy from all of us at Cowichan Brain Injury. Bye.